Hello, and I want to thank each one of you for joining me tonight, especially Craig, who will be manning the camera. We're going to be talking about support animals. Imagine, if you will, for a minute, that you have a disability that limits your independence, or an illness that needs constant monitoring, or maybe that you work in a facility that provides care long-term for patients. What do each one of these situations have in common? In each one of these situations, the use of a support animal greatly benefit people. Support animals are an essential part of many people's daily lives. Recently, support animal ownership has grown greatly, which has led to much confusion over the laws regarding the use of support animals in public places. Today, I would like to inform you of the definition of each subtype of support animal, of the laws regarding support animals, and also of the training required for each category of support animals. Now, there are three main categories within the support animal group: service dogs, therapy dogs, and emotional support pets. The largest category of support animals is the service dog. According to Jenny Cohen from History.com, the very first training school for service dogs opened in the United States in 1929, and it was for guide dogs for the blind. Canine Companions for Independence reportedly began training dogs for people with physical disabilities in 1975. Now, these dogs can either provide stability and mobility support for someone who is mobile but needs a little extra assistance, or they can provide assistance for daily living for people who have limited mobility by doing things like opening doors and picking things up for them. Our daughter was born with cerebral palsy, and when she was 8 years old, she began training with her service dog, and she has benefited greatly from that dog's assistance for the past few years. In the 1990s, Service Dogs for America began training dogs for very specialized work as medical response dogs. Now, these dogs can alert their partners of an oncoming seizure or of a change in blood sugar. These dogs can also be trained to work with people with autism and PTSD. The second category of support animal is the therapy dog. Now, therapy dogs mainly provide comfort, inspire motivation, or reduce stress by visiting patients. The third category of support animal is emotional support animal. The American Kennel Club describes an emotional support pet as one that provides comfort and a calming effect to someone who is suffering from a disabling mental illness. Now that we have a complete understanding of the different categories of support animals, I will explain the training required for certification or approval for each one. The training requirements of each category of support animal differ greatly. Service dogs require the most specialized training. It takes around 6 months to complete training for a service dog. According to Julie Case of Ultimate Canine in Westfield, Indiana, 1 out of 100 dogs that are considered for training will actually pass the rigorous vetting process and complete the training to become a service dog. The training begins with basic obedience training and endurance training and public access training. For a service dog, that means that they're trained to not respond to stimuli out in public, especially other people. The intensive part of the training is when the dog is trained specifically to meet the individual needs of the person that they will be paired with. Training for therapy dogs starts much the same way, with basic training for obedience and endurance, just like service dogs, but rather than being taught to avoid contact with other people, they are taught how to interact appropriately with people of all ages. These dogs need to have a calm disposition, and that will assist them in being able to sit for a long period of time and allow themselves to be pet by a patient. The third category, emotional support animal, currently has no training requirements because they are not meant to accompany their owners in public places. Now, since we all now have a clear understanding of the training required for each of the categories of support animals, I would like to discuss with you the laws regarding public access for each one of these categories. According to the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, a service dog is defined as a dog that has been individually trained to do work or perform tasks for the benefit of individuals with disabilities. This dog is allowed to access all public domain while accompanying said individual. Service dogs must be trained by a professional and must be provided with proof of completion of training. Dogs that complete training to become service dogs will receive a vest that identifies them as a service dog, and they will also receive a certification, or a license to carry with them to identify them as a service dog, and it also identifies their owner or handler by name. Therapy dogs are not protected at all under the ADA, and therefore they do not have full access to all public domain. Therapy dogs must be approved by each individual place before entering. They are not approved for public transportation, and they must be crated during flights. Emotional support animals are only protected by the ADA as far as the no pet policy goes for residents, and they are not approved for public domain. And that basically means that their owners are allowed to have that pet if it has been assigned to them by a medical professional. If they live in a place that normally does not allow pets, the ADA protects them under that law that the owner of the residence must allow the person to keep the pet on the premises. Many owners of emotional support pets are either unaware of the law regarding allowing emotional support pets in public area, or they completely disregard it. They are never allowed to be in a public place other than their own personal residence. Although there has been a recent increase in support animal popularity resulting in some confusion over the laws regarding the use of support animals in public places, each of the three different categories of animals perform different tasks, and they benefit people in different ways. The training requirements and the laws affecting each group differ greatly, so they should never be lumped under the same category. In conclusion, support animals, regardless of category, offer a service. Each has its own unique qualities and qualifications to perform the tasks that are needed. Clarification and further regulations are needed to ensure the rights of service dogs and the safety of the general public. Now that you have been equipped with the knowledge of how to identify the different types of support animals, and you understand what their rights are under the ADA, I hope you will join me in sharing this information with others. Thank you to all of you that joined me here tonight.